Hello, welcome to This is Anfield. I'm Gareth Roberts, this is Chris Kirkland. We are both kipping on the cop tonight to raise money for the LFC Foundation. Money is going towards causes for the homeless, to help people who are homeless and vulnerable in this city. You can donate by looking for Kip on the Cop on all of social media. You'll find it easy enough. Throw in, it's a brilliant cause. You can keep on doing so for the next few weeks. You can do so tonight. You can do so via my social media, his social media. You'll find it if you go and look for it. Do throw in, it's an excellent cause. But we have got Chris Kirkland with us, of course, a man who once upon a time was the other side of this barrier and playing on this pitch. Played for Liverpool at Anfield, played for Liverpool away from Anfield, played for Liverpool in Europe. What questions would you like to hear answered by Chris tonight as we stand here in front of the cop? Fire them in, we'll have a look, and we'll see what we get coming through. So far we've got plenty of people online, but you're all a bit shy. Where's the questions here? How does it feel at night? That's a good one actually, because we were saying this before, weren't we? Like it's quite surreal to be here at night, without the floodlights on, without anyone playing football there. But Chris has just said to me a minute before we started, I'd love someone to throw a ball on there now and allow me to run on that pitch.
And I said about the dogs as well.
And you wanted the dogs on there,
fetching the ball. Yeah.
But it does feel slightly strange.
It feels smaller, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it feels smaller in the dark when it's empty, but listen, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing to be here. How much sleep we're going to get, I'm not so sure. I don't think it'll be too much, but even if we don't get any sleep, then it's worth what we're doing it for. It's well worth it.
100%. They did say to us that if we want, we can sleep on the concourse, or if we want, we can sleep between the seats on the actual cop. Now, what I'm looking round, I can't see anyone that's chosen to go down on the concourse so far, because you wouldn't, would you? You're going to wake up in the morning and see that pitch in this place, and that's going to be pretty special in itself. What have we got here? Okay, Matt asks Chris, favourite player of all time?
Oh, of all time, that is. I want to say the player that had the biggest influence on my career and set me off was Stephen Griswich. People might not have heard of him, but
yeah, I remember him.
He was at Liverpool, obviously, and then he was at Coventry with me. And from a young age, I was training with him 14, 15. And then when I got in the youth team at Coventry, he was the first choice keeper. But seeing the way he trained, the way he worked, the way he conducted himself, he was the hardest worker, and he was the most respected person, but he gave people so much time as well. And that's what I tried to do from an early age. So for me, he was the one that had the biggest influence from an early age on my career.
And Paul Fitzsimons asked, who's the best player you played with at Liverpool?
Yeah, it's got to be Stevie.
It's got to be Stevie, hasn't it?
It's got to be. It is. He was just awesome. You know, the standards he set, not just on in matches, but in training as well. Him and Cara, I mentioned it over there. Him and Cara to be at one club for the whole career. That doesn't happen by sentiment. You know, you're there because you deserve to be, and they just train relentlessly all the time, and their will to win, you can see it. You know, right from the first game to the last game.
There was an interesting interview this week. I don't know if you saw it. It was Paul Scholes. He was asked about Gerrard.
And listen, I thought it was great from him.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
He was honest.
Yeah.
And it was what he said was absolutely spot on. By the way, what a player he was.
He was as well.
So for him to say that just says everything you need to know.
It certainly does. It's worth a watch that. I mean, for the highlight of it for me is that he basically says Stephen could have done what I did for Manchester United, but I couldn't have done what Stephen did for Liverpool. And I think, as we said, that says it all. We've got another one here. Who was the most dedicated athlete that you worked with as a footballer?
Apart from Oggy, like I said, he was in. Who else? I'm trying to think. Kev Kilban. He was brilliant. I'm trying to think at Liverpool. Sammy Ipia, great pro. You know, first in, probably last out as well. He was a brilliant pro. I'm trying to think through the clubs now. Do you know one at Sheffield Wednesday, and he grew up with Cristiano Ronaldo, so Jose Semedo.
Oh, okay.
Was it? And he was probably the hardest working person that I've played with. He was just. So he told me a story about him and Ronaldo. So Semedo's a legend, and Sheffield Wednesday fans loved him. And him and Ronaldo used to stay in the same digs at Sporting Lisbon when they were kids, and they used to sneak out at night and go down to a local football and practice. And Semedo's song was "You'll Never Get By Semedo," like it was a brick wall.
Yeah.
And obviously Ronaldo. So Ronaldo used to practice one-on-ones with him, and that's what made to me so good as a midfielder.
Wow.
And the best mate. So he was a great guy, but he was one of probably the hardest worker.
Cracking little story there. I like this one. See the stuff is the username there. He says Wayne Rooney apparently couldn't sleep at night without a vacuum cleaner running. Did Chris have any odd habits when trying to get sleep when away with the club?
Yes, I didn't used to like being away, but no, I've always been a pretty good sleeper. I've heard that one before. Yeah, the vacuum. A lot of people like the noise.
White noise type of thing. Yeah.
If I am struggling, I'll put like sounds of the sea on, so like waves crashing and stuff like that. But I didn't have anything too wacky. No, I've been too tired to leave the Uber on anyway.
What's your game tonight? How are you going to get sleep tonight? Have you got eye mask, lavender spray?
I'll let the missus talk to us for 5 minutes. I'm saying that because she's over there and she can't hear me. Tonight, listen, like I said, I'm hoping to get a few hours. I've got a charity cricket match tomorrow actually in Sheffield for Walking's Brilliant, so I'm hoping I get a couple of hours for that, but if we don't, we don't. But I'm just going to try and put my head down and any advice?
Well, I've got music. I brought all kinds.
Have you?
I've got an eye mask, I've got a bit of pillow spray.
Really?
Oh,
does it work?
Oh, I like it.
Brilliant.
I mean, it works a bit.
I'll be nicking that.
I've got this stuff you put on your pressure points and all. Oh, yeah.
Right.
I've really struggled with my sleep, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, we've also got Vishy asking who was the best and worst roommate to be with on aways. He thought of someone straight away there, didn't he? You can see his face.
I was at so when I was at Cov, I had Magnus Edmund, and bearing in mind I just broke through, and he was the first choice keeper at the time before I took his place, and he was a snorer. So he kept us up above. And then he used to say to me, he says, if I do it, just throw something at me. And I was thinking, I'm like 17, 18, and I'm getting told to throw something at like Sweden's number one. I never did anything, but in the end I had to move rooms because his snoring just kept us up
that bad
all night. I'm just trying to think, do you know what, I roomed on my own because most of the time because I'll get up early in the mornings, so I'm an early riser, so I used to get that. And I also said, look, I need a big bed. So when you room with someone, you normally got single beds, so I just used to use the fact that, look, I need a bigger bed. So that used to get me in my own room on my own.
Fair play, absolutely fair play. Luke asks, what's your favourite game? Presumably that you played in.
My favourite game was, listen, the debut's always special for Liverpool. Favourite game I played in, probably Olympiacos game. Olympiacos game where the ball rattled in the net about 10 yards from where we are when Stevie got the third goal. So yeah, I think that game for atmosphere and the meaning and everything, and obviously to go on and win it, even though I didn't play in the final, was that game was. European nights here are just, they're just something different. And do you know what? A lot of fans and a lot of people who are not Liverpool fans want to come to Anfield to witness a European night, and that just speaks volumes about this. I mean, Barcelona. Yeah. I mean, that was just.
Well, when you were talking before, Chris did a Q&A over there before, and we sat in the seats like in the corner listening to him, and I did listen to his answers. Don't get me wrong. But equally, I was looking over his shoulder thinking, corner taken quickly, Origi. Yeah. You can't help doing it, can you? Mate, you look at different parts of the pitch and you think, Stevie scored from there, that corner was from there. I'm glad that we stayed here. Do you know what I mean? We were just saying that, weren't we? And, Everton have obviously got this new stadium to go to, and fair play to them, it looks good and all the rest of it. But I'm glad that for the rest of my living days, I'll be coming here and I'll be able to look at that pitch and go, I remember that day. You know what I mean? It's special, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, what have we got? A lot of people are asking about sort of this season. What do you think about the team we've got this season? What can it do? What can it achieve?
Well, during the summer, everyone was panicking a bit, weren't they? We've signed, like I said, though, it's everything's good at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah,
Jurgen knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
The staff knew what they were doing. So, listen, it started off great, obviously better than we started last season, but you'll know this, when we won the league and when we finished second in the league, we had the best defensive record. We have to get back to that. We have to get back to keeping clean sheets. You look at all the successful teams over the years that won titles, it's based on defensive, and then the elected player will always score goals. That will always be, but listen, it's looking good at the minute, but there's a long way to go yet.
I want to second this as well. JPTV has commented and he says, I haven't got a question, I just want to say thank you for representing our club as it should be, Chris. And I'd second that. This man does a lot of work for Liverpool's foundation. He doesn't have to do it, but he gives up his time and time again. He's here tonight, he's kipping on the cop, he's getting up tomorrow, he's doing something else, he was doing something yesterday. So
thank you.
Top man.
Thank you.
Top man. What else have we got here? Funny enough, we were just talking about this. Mark Smith said, do you think the COP should be expanded?
We did just speak about that.
I mean, it'd be amazing if it could be, but logistics-wise...
Listen, I'm old school. And this whole stadium's special, but the COP, yeah. I mean, if there were, I don't know what else they could do. There's obviously a lot of issues. If they were going to expand it, you've got houses either side, so there's a lot of issues there. But once we get it up to 60,000, and obviously the Anfield Road end's done and ready, 60,000 is not bad, is it?
We've got the big one there as well. Do you think we can win the league this season?
Listen, I would love us to win the league because, again, we spoke about it over there. When we did win it, we couldn't celebrate it, could we?
Oh no.
And it was, thinking about it still hurts as a fan that we didn't get a chance to properly celebrate it. So that would be the one for me, the Premier League. Of course we can. You need a lot of luck. You need a lot of players to stay fit. And like I said, we need to get back to clean sheets. Get back defensively solid.
We've got someone asking if there's any aircon. I mean, we're outside. So, and fingers crossed so far the weather's all right. It's still about 20 degrees at the moment. We all got a bit worried before because some of the staff were walking around handing us ponchos saying that there's a weather warning. But fingers crossed that's not going to be the case. And we're not going to get thunder and lightning and that kind of thing. It's quite a warm night, so fingers crossed it stays that way. Someone's asking about the Anfield Road stand behind us, asking how long that's going to be. The club haven't really said at this point. I think all that's happening at the moment is they're using another company now. They're going to use a lot of the same subcontractors that were laid off from Buckingham, and they're going to try and get that up and running as soon as they can. So
let's just say by Christmas, eh?
Well,
I think that's a safe bet, isn't it?
Fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
By Christmas.
Fingers crossed. Someone asked there, who was the most aggressive player you played with? I mean, you could go Stevie again there, couldn't you?
Yeah. Probably at Liverpool. Yeah, I'd say Stevie. John Arnovics liked a bit as well.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, but probably overall, Michael Brown.
Really? Yeah. I remember him.
Yeah, but he used to take it a little bit too far sometimes. But yeah, again, Stevie. I tell you, some of the challenges you've heard them. You can hear them when he goes in for it's not even a 50-50 when he goes in for. Is it? He's going for a 90-10 against.
100%.
So yeah, probably Stevie.
Someone asked what Igor Biscan's like as a fella.
Brilliant.
Is he?
I'd have never said he'd have gone into management. He's a manager. He's doing well, isn't he? He's manager at the minute. Igor.
Is he out there in?
Yes, I think he's back in his own country.
Yeah,
but
Croatia.
He was hilarious.
Was he?
He was just so dry. He was hilarious. Great guy.
He looked like to me as a fan, and we were talking before about the difference between being a fan and being behind the scenes and how much you don't know. He looked to me sometimes like he'd just got out of bed.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? His hair's everywhere. And this is when he's going on the pitch.
Probably did, yeah. But he was just everyone loved him.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to say. He was a really, really funny guy. Really funny guy.
There you go. There you got your answer to that. We've got messages saying we are going to win the league. I love that confidence. Why not? I believe Szoboszlai has been going around saying that as well.
What a player he is, by the way. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm saying it now. Player of the season.
You heard it here first.
Player of the season.
And if you haven't seen his free kick for Hungary, what are you doing? Go and watch it. Yeah. Lots of people, a lot of love for Agrizovic in the comments as well. You'd be pleased to hear. Have we got any more? Oh yeah, your favourite Liverpool kit? Asks Eamon.
Candy.
The candy
My
kit.
First kit. Yeah, the candy kit. That was the first one I had. As a playing kit, I'm just stick to that. The candy kit is my favourite.
Neil McIntyre says that Michael Brown was a yard dog.
Yes, handsome. yeah, handsome. Yeah. But I tell you what, when he was at Wigan, I wanted him in my team. He did all the dirty work, handsome.
Oh, we've got Paul Cope here, who I do the podcast with, trying to set me up.
What's he saying?
I have never said this, mate, but I'm going to read it out anyway. He says, "Hi Chris, Rob always says to me that Peggy RFX said was better than you. Have you got any thoughts?"
Peggy. Man, Peggy
I did not say that.
Peggy used to, he was funny, Peggy. Yeah, he used to like a night out, and he used to come in the next day, and he was still not fit to train, put it that way, some days.
There we go. So you haven't stitched me up there, Kopi, because that didn't work, did it?
I'd never say that, mate. Probably was better than me, though.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, are the mozzies biting out there?
I put my spray on.
Oh, that's something I haven't thought about, you know.
You bought everything. Yeah, I put my spray. Mate,
I bought pillow spray and all kinds. I haven't bought mossy spray.
It's not been too bad, is it? It's all right. But I've
so far,
yeah, I've
so
put some
good.
spray on.
Yeah, we're all right so far. Motter asks, does Chris think Mo could sign a 1-year extension on the deal that he's already got with Liverpool?
No.
You think he's done after his?
I think this will be his last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think this will be his last season. And listen, I think he's handled himself, because let's face it, would he have wanted to go there? Probably, yeah, if he's being honest. But he obviously said, look, I don't want to, I'll stay if you want me to stay, and he's not rocked the boat. I think he's handled himself superbly. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is his last season.
Did we do this? I don't know if we've already done this. I think he said the Grizovic for this. No, favourite all-time goalkeeper. It was Grizovic, wasn't it?
I'm going to say on the
yeah.
He set me on the path. Yeah, Liverpool, favourite all-time Liverpool, and that's tough on it. I mean, I will always have a soft spot for Ray Clements, because I worked with Ray when I first got in the England squads. He was a goalkeeper coach there, and I was very close to Ray. And obviously, listen, we miss him. And it's I message his son Stephen every now and again, but yeah, probably always have a soft spot for Ray.
Someone asked there, do you see yourself ever managing a team?
Do you know what? I was at Liverpool Women's.
That's right.
Yeah, I was a goalie coach, but then Neil left, so me and Vicky took over. I really enjoyed it. I could have done probably 5 years ago. I'm not so sure. I just think there's. I mean, I'm a home person, as you know, and listen, you can be in a job 10 months out, travelling, everything like that. But at the minute, I'd say no. But I want to get back involved in football maybe one day. But for now, I love doing what I do with the foundation.
Absolutely fair play. It's funny this, because a lot of questions that are coming through on here was similar to what was asked over there. People are desperate to hear you talk about El Hadji Diouf.
Joofy, no comment. Joofy. Do you know what? I got on fine with him, and I think most of the lads in the dressing room did, obviously, apart from Stevie and a few others.
Carragher.
But he was. He was. You just had to. If you wanted him to wind you up, he would do. So I was just one of them that just let him do what he did. And I mean, he used to go out the night before games to nightclubs because he said it relaxed him. Never stopped him. So he used to go out in town before, like saying the music. Usually his dress sense was. I mean, listen, I've got terrible dress sense anyway, but Joofy wore some very suspect things, let's say. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about Joofy. But I never had any issues with him personally, but obviously a few of the lads did.
Fair play. Dave Wood says, was there an actual rivalry between you and Duda? So, how did you two get on?
Competitive rivalry, yeah. But never, I mean, our room with Jersey. He was, we never had any issues. Whenever we see each other now, he was amazing with us. And when I played, vice versa, we supported each other. But there was that competitive rivalry, yeah. Like I said, when I first came, I thought, this is going to take some shifting, this guy. But never any fall. Never. I've never had that with any goalkeeper, whether I've been number one or number two. I've never. It is a tight unit, the goalkeeper unit.
Good one from Neil McIntyre. He says, how high is Kelleher's ceiling? Feels like he could replace Alisson, but he might not stick around long enough to do so because of the sake of his own development.
So I've seen him play for the 18s to 23s when I used to do the games there. If Alisson's fit, he's not going to get anything. Let's face it. Nobody would. Alisson's the best in the world, so it's a tough one for a minute, a real tough one.
He's impressed when he's come in.
He's done brilliant, but I mean, what's he going to play? Maybe 10 games a season. Yeah. He's 24 now, is he? Keller, 23, 24.
Yeah.
So he's got to be playing regular. So again, that's going to be one. I was half expecting him this season, possibly.
Was there talk of Spurs?
Yeah, so I was half expecting it. So I wouldn't be surprised again next season. Let's admire Alisson for the best goalkeeper in the world, what he is.
100%. Last one, I'm just seeing if we've got one. There's quite a few mad ones starting to come in now.
Is there?
People are asking, have we seen any bats? Not as yet.
Is it meant to be?
That's news to me.
Seen
any bats? No bats so far, mate. But
Batman or bats? It'd be nice to see Batman, wouldn't it?
But yeah, just to give another shout for what we're all here for, which is Kip on the Cop. We are here to raise money. We've all been getting sponsors, and you can still sponsor us now. So go to Chris's page on Twitter, go to my page on Twitter. Just look up Kip on the Cop, LFC Foundation. You'll find it for really good causes in the city, the homeless and the vulnerable. We're all sleeping out here tonight for that. So yeah, if you want to get involved, you can do stuff for the next 30 days or so. You can still donate. So currently, it's about £55,000 that's being raised for this cause, which is absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much to Chris for doing this chat. Thanks very much for you for commenting. Hope you enjoyed it. Up the Reds. This is Anfield.